There's no doubt that the show started and ended with a big bang. After 12 seasons, none of the characters from The Big Bang Theory were in the same place they were when we first met them. New people entered their lives and new discoveries were made, but in the end, as they sat around the apartment for dinner, each of the original 5 did have at least one of their dreams come true. It was always clear that Sheldon's goal was to become a well-known scientist. From the pilot episode, Sheldon makes it clear that he's smarter than everybody else. He won't let them freaking forget it. His need to be recognized as smarter than everyone else becomes clear in the episode The Cooper-Hofstadter Polarization. Even though he doesn't want to present his and Leonard's paper at a conference, Sheldon sneaks into the audience to watch the presentation to make sure it's done right. The two break into a fight at the end when Leonard points out Sheldon's need for validation. Not to mention Sheldon's fear in the face of a 15-year-old. While Dennis Kim was only around for one episode, Sheldon viewed the kid as a threat. Scared that he might not be the smartest mind in the field, Sheldon turned tail and ran to take over his friend's work rather than contend with his diminutive problem. It's not until Dennis gets a girlfriend and leaves that Sheldon goes back to his usual gloating self. But during the series finale, Sheldon finally receives a Nobel Prize for his work with Amy on super-asymmetry theory. An accomplishment he's so proud of, he and Amy can be seen wearing their medals in the final scene of the show. Though Sheldon was the most successful career-wise, he wasn't the only one to have a work-related dream. When Penny moves to California, she has her heart set on becoming an actress. In the first season, she lands the part of Mimi from Rent, despite her, I have to go. Later on, Penny started getting more gigs. From roles in acting classes to hemorrhoid commercials, she took on any part that she could get. Though Penny eventually moves on from acting, she did manage to get her wish. Throughout season 7, Penny was able to work towards becoming an actress. She managed to get a role in NCIS. That was eventually cut and became the star of the Serial Apist series. Penny was even able to meet her fans. In the Fetal Kick Catalyst, Penny is offered a spot at Van Nuys Comic-Con to sign autographs. Even though it ended terribly for her, Penny did manage to see into an actor's world and live the life of auditions and fans before moving on. One of the first things that Penny shares with the others is that she just came out of a relationship. After 4 years, Kurt cheated on Penny and the two broke up, leaving her hurt. Throughout the first season, it's clear that Penny is still interested in settling down with someone. In the first few special moments that Leonard and Penny share, Penny emphasizes that she wants someone who's nice, honest, and who cares about her. The couple's first kiss in the Middle-earth paradigm happens because a drunken Penny realizes that Leonard thinks she's perfect. And their second kiss is because of how Leonard showed he cared about how she actually feels. Even their first date comes after Penny was betrayed by Mike. Penny decided to go out with Leonard since she was looking for someone different from the other guys she had dated. And well, their relationship had a lot of bumps in the road, but the two do manage to work it out in the end. It wasn't just Penny who had her dream fulfilled by her and Leonard's relationship. From the very first time he laid eyes on Penny, Leonard wanted nothing more than to be with her.
Our babies will be smart and beautiful.
The events of the entire show would never have happened if Leonard didn't fall hopelessly in love with Penny. The first season is filled with Leonard attempting to impress her. From trying to get Penny's TV back and failing miserably, to Leonard jumping through hoops to figure out how Penny felt about him. It all started with these two. Leonard did anything he could for Penny, putting her first no matter their relationship at the time. Even when he was dating other women, Leonard still put Penny first. When Priya wanted Leonard to stop hanging out with Penny, he worked to maintain his friendship with her. Even at the end of the first episode, Leonard thinks about their future children, and by the final episode, it happens. The two are expecting their first child. Well, their first kid aside from Sheldon. Of course, when it comes to family, Leonard doesn't exactly have a great experience. Though Beverly doesn't make an appearance in the first season, Leonard does talk about her. Before he and Sheldon get into their fight in the Cooper-Hofstadter Polarization, Leonard admits to the crowd that he couldn't please his parents, and in the peanut reaction, it's revealed that he never had a birthday party since being born wasn't an achievement. When she finally does visit the apartment in season 2, it only gets worse. Leonard learns that his mom has been keeping things from him, things that she happily told Sheldon about, and it only gets worse from there. She writes a book about Leonard called The Disappointing Child, judging his marriage with Penny and never even saying that she's proud of him. But in the final season, Leonard finally talks with his mother about everything. He decides to forgive her for the way she treated him growing up. With their issues aired out, the two are finally able to have their first real hug. Unfortunately, Raj doesn't get quite the same happy ending as Leonard. Though he's clearly the group's romantic, he doesn't settle down. That doesn't mean he didn't get his wish, though. In the first few seasons, Raj has to deal with severe social anxiety. Any woman outside of his family triggered Raj's selective mutism. Throughout the first season, we see Raj trying to overcome this anxiety. Experimental medications helped, but would either wear off, like when he tried talking to Missy in the pork chop Indeterminacy, or make him lose sense of social norms. It's only with the help of alcohol that Raj was finally able to start talking to women, even if it made him obnoxious. But by the 6th season, Raj finally manages to beat his selective mutism thanks to his breakup with Emily. In the end, Raj never did get his movie-like romance, but he did take a huge step forward. And in a way, Raj did get a romantic movie moment. It was just with Howard, running after him and begging his best friend to not throw away the love of his second family. Of course, at one point, Howard was the one leaving the group behind. As early as season 1, Howard had mentioned going to space. When flirting with Missy, Howard mentions that he was working on a project that could have him heading up to the International Space Station. He was also shown to like making model rockets, something he did since he was a child. Not to mention, Howard hardly ever received any recognition for his work. Throughout the series, Sheldon would mock Howard for not having a PhD like the rest of the guys. But before too long, Howard is able to get his moment to shine. In the 5th season, Howard's Deep Field Telescope project gave him the opportunity to be an astronaut. Though the training took a lot out of him, it's clear Howard loved the experience. In later seasons, a picture of Howard in his spacesuit can be seen hanging on the walls of his and Bernadette's house. Though he never got a PhD, Howard proved himself and holds his time in space close. And Sheldon had to stop mocking him. But more important to Howard is his love life. From episode 1, Howard is flirting with every girl he sees. Between Penny, Missy, and Leslie, Howard flirts with all of them, not to mention his endless innuendos. Even his short relationship with Christy shows just how badly he wanted a relationship. When Penny warns him that Christy will only be with him as long as he keeps giving her things, Howard gets excited that he could keep her around. While most of his relationships don't work out, in season 5, Howard marries Bernadette. Before the series ends, the two have a family together, their daughter Haley and their son Michael. In the end, between his wife, kids, and friends, Howard finally managed to have the family he wanted since he was 11. While nobody says it out loud, it's obvious that each of the group would appreciate Sheldon saying thanks, or even an "I'm sorry" for all the snide remarks he's made over the years. But Sheldon was always self-centered. In the bat jar conjecture, Sheldon wouldn't even accept help from others, even if it would let him win the physics bowl. And during the pancake batter anomaly, Penny tries to help a sick Sheldon, listening to every one of his demands while the rest of the gang flee the apartment. After a lot of fighting, jokes, and breaking of the roommate agreement, Sheldon finally shows how thankful he is to his friends. In the final episode, when he's making his speech after getting the Nobel Prize, Sheldon finally gives his thanks to his friends. He admits that he would have never gotten this far without them and that he loves them. After 12 years, they finally got their thanks for putting up with Sheldon. But the biggest change of all is the elevator. Broken long before the show started, the elevator didn't work for 277 episodes. Without the elevator, countless iconic conversations filled the stairwell. Even though we've grown to love these borderline iconic steps, it's clear that the characters would love for the elevator to be fixed. From moving time machines to late food deliveries, the 16 years the elevator was broken was really inconvenient, even if Leonard brought it on himself. Just goes to show you not to mess with rocket fuel, even if you're a master of applied physics. In the second to last episode, the elevator finally gets fixed and Penny gets to take it in the change constant. Of course, the rest of the group doesn't get to enjoy the elevator, the finale revealing that the elevator is too small for them and their luggage. Still, it's a good way to see that times are changing for the group and a great final note for the series. A lot of things changed for the characters while The Big Bang Theory was airing. The Sheldon, Howard, Penny, and Raj from the first episode are completely different from who they are in the finale. And though we'll only get a few glimpses into the rest of their lives thanks to Young Sheldon, it's good to see all of them reach a happy ending. And to have 12 years worth of episodes to revisit whenever we need a laugh.